You are about to find out the key levels on NVIDIA, ticker NVDA. Now, they do have their earnings coming out after hours today, so how can we prepare for this? And that's just finding the key levels. And again, these are going to be quite kind of the key levels we're paying attention to after the release happens, so coming into the end of this week or going into next. So right now we're sitting at $467. Now the thing to note is obviously we had our earnings, our last one in May time last year, and that's where we had that massive gap. We went from about $300 to just under $400, and we were actually able to hold this move. And that was a surprising bit, is we never really, apart from the day we opened, we never actually went any lower than that. We didn't even try to fill this gap. And the way I'm looking at this now is we are extremely overbought. So my view on this is I think there's going to be a lot more opportunity to play to the downside. And the reason I say that is if the earnings come in really strong again, even if they boost their guidance, yes, we can see some upside potential, but I do think that would be severely limited compared to if the earnings may be a bit more in line or a bit negative. I think the downside move we would see could definitely be a bit more of an overreaction and can provide the better trade. So again, we'll prepare for both directions, but I think the main opportunity I'll be looking for is if we get that downside move. So to quickly cover the upside, we do have resistances at 553, 577 and 50 cents and 666. Now, if we go to the upside again, my main focus is probably just going to be on these first two sets of levels. So around 553 to 557, just because again, if we get that upside move, I think the reaction could be a lot less. But that's still a monster move. That's still about a 17% move to the closest level. So even if it does come out relatively strong, could be hard to even hit that level. And again, that's why I'm not as focused on that upside move, because I think it'll be a lot harder to even get to that first level that we would be looking to trade. But again, if we are able to push up to there, that'll be something I'll be looking at entering potentially a bit more short buys coming into the end of the week or coming into next week. So that's kind of the resistances covered. Now the supports, and again, where I think the main opportunity will probably come is, if the earnings are a bit more or taken a bit more negatively and we start selling off. Right now we're obviously in that fair value area between 438 and 472. So I would want to see a move to the downside. 367 would be that first support, and I really like this level because not only is it our first deviation from the 6 month, but it also lines up exactly near enough to the penny of the support that was created on that gap fill earnings day, just on the gap of earnings day. So I quite like that support if we get that reaction to the downside, and again that would require about a 21% move. And again, that's like kind of what we needed to the upside, but I said the move to the downside should be a lot more seamless, a lot easier for it to sell off than it is to go to the upside. So again, that's our first layer of support. If we break that, we then have 324 and 50 cents, and then what I quite like is going to be just above kind of $300, going to be the gap fill of where we were from the previous earnings, so obviously paying attention to that as well. And then we have one final support to be noting at 263, which is our second deviation from the 6 month strong support. That kind of move is quite unlikely, but again, it's always just about being prepared, because that would require a 43% sell off. Are we likely to get that? Probably not. Again, it's just about being prepared. If we do get an overreaction, which is more possible to the downside, that's definitely a level we could be paying attention to. But again, if we sell off, the main supports I'm paying attention to is going to be that 324.50, which is around a 30% sell off, or 367, which is about a 21.5% sell-off. So again, those are the two key supports. So if we sell off on earnings today and we open kind of at this level, potentially something I could look to take long buys and play to the upside. And again, that's same with that lower level down here. If we kind of open near here, look to play that to the upside. And again, just to note that resistance, I probably won't trade this level, just as a heads up, but 553 and 577.50 would be those levels where we could start looking a bit more short bias. Again, probably not going to be something I trade if we go to the upside, but if I was long, definitely something I would definitely be looking to take profits at.